Hello everybody, it is June 8, 2020, time's about 11:50 CDT, it is Geo-Rant timeout, it's about 90 degrees Fahrenheit out, this is Geo-Rant 130, and after this I'm going to ease up on these for a bit. I've been inspired lately and somebody asked me a question. For those of you who have not seen my Black Hills Precambrian video, I'll link it below, because I'm going to talk a little bit about that, specifically Mount Rushmore, because that was the question. The question was, well, what kind of rock is Mount Rushmore carved in, and is it carved into Precambrian rock? And yes, it is carved into Precambrian rock. And I've been there. I was there in 2018 with a bunch of people, but I'm going to take it from photos from this publication. I do not have my photos at the ready. I'm sorry. But what you see here, for those of you that don't know, it's a mountainside cliff face where 4 U.S. presidents have been carved into. We're only going to worry about this guy, George Washington, but you notice the rock here is a lot lighter than this rock over here, and that's what I'm going to talk about a lot here. Something else too, I see a lot of dumb memes. They're like, let's put another face here, let's put another face here. You can't. If you attempted to carve this dark rock, this is a hard igneous intrusion into this. All right, and this is metamorphic, and it's not well indurated anymore because it's been exposed to the surface. You try to carve this, even if it would survive the carving process, whatever you carve into, it's going to fall down in a few years. So there ain't no more carving, no more faces into this, at least not next to anything. Anyway, and you can see that here. Like, let's look this way at Washington's right side. You can see in this photo that they have, you can see the dark rock a lot better, okay, along, next to his face. And the geologic unit that the faces are carved into, not that it intrudes, is the Harney Peak granite. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit here in a little bit, but I need to show you the official geologic map of the 7.5 minute quadrangle, which I talked about in the Geo-Rant right before this one. You can get this online for free. This is an 8.5/11 printout. The actual map is huge, and don't worry, I know you can't see any detail. I'm going to take excerpts from this. The actual map itself is 35 inches, which is about 89 centimeters by about 45 inches, 44.7, which is about 113.5 centimeters to 114 centimeters. So this map is huge, all right? And this part is as if you're flying over and you're looking down, okay? And these are cross sections. This one in particular is B to B prime, all right? And Mount Rushmore is in this area down here. It's near the southern bottom part of the quadrangle, but it is in the quadrangle. And here's B to B prime. So we don't have a cross section going through it, but we have one really close. So I am going to take the geologic map for you, but first I want to talk about this. When I was doing my other Black Hills video, this is a basic stratigraphic column of South Dakota correlation chart. We're not worried about that Phanerozoic stuff. All right, in the previous Geo-Rant, I focused on the units highlighted in yellow. The ones exposed near Mount Rushmore are in orange. All right, and here's the time span. So they're younger, they're still Precambrian, but they're younger than what I was talking about before when I was talking about the Black Hills area. All right, so I just want to show you that. And the Harney Peak granite, like I said, intrudes this older, metamorphic, not very well indurated anymore rock. So it's younger, it has to be younger. But here's an aerial photograph from Google Earth of Mount Rushmore. This is the highway that leads into it. This is where you park in this garage. Here's all the touristy stuff that wasn't there when I was a kid. They built it, 20, 25 years ago, maybe a little more. I believe it was in the 90s sometime. But here's the Mount Rushmore. That's part of the Harney that's been carved. The faces face eastish, like towards me. Okay? And then you see all this other rock around it. It's not all granite. Okay? So now we're going to take this and we are going to put a translucent geologic map over it, which is an excerpt from the geologic map I showed you. And what you can start to see here is you can start to see some units. You start to see this darker color here. This pink is the pink is our Harney Peak granite. That's what the faces are carved into. And you can see Let's make it more opaque. Let's make it totally opaque, but here's the roads that surround it. And there on the bottom, you can see a scale. Let's just focus on that for a second. All right, so let's make it opaque. And this is the scale on here is in feet. Okay, at the bottom here. You look at this and you see you got this, the granite intrudes a lot of stuff in the area. So it intrudes all this other stuff which is older because you can't intrude stuff that doesn't exist. So, but this olive color unit, let's focus on that a little bit, okay? The Harney Peak granite, early Proterozoic, is down here. It's up here. It's the youngest in the area. You can just see, you can read that if you want, read the description. S-type granite, all right? Fine pegmatitic. But it's in, the unit that it's in, that it intrudes into is mostly this XGW. Metagrayraki Unit 1 here on the bottom here, all right? So it's schist, mica schist phyllite. So we have low to medium, more solidly medium grade metamorphism in that rock, as opposed to the granite, which shows almost no metamorphism. Okay, so that's the units we're dealing with. Now, remember I said the cross section doesn't exactly go through, but this top map is a zoom out of this map. It's the same, exact same map, okay? So Mount Rushmore is, you know, here. And you can see the olive stuff goes around it on each side, so you aren't carving into it. But anyway, the actual cross section's a little up here, but this is what it looks like inside the earth, and there is no vertical exaggeration here. You can see the Harney granite just intrudes all this country rock that is all older and Precambrian and not as well indurated anymore as it is. Okay, so this intruded into all the other stuff. The pink and red, the granite is intrusive to all the other stuff which already existed at the time. And the red stuff is what Mount Rushmore is carved out of. And remember, there's no vertical exaggeration here, so we have a lot of geologic structures going on here. That's why you see the crazy strike and dips and other measurements on here. But anyway, I think we're just gonna cut this off. And this is my first Geo-Rant in under 10 minutes in a long time, which is where I want them. Anyway, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I hope you learned something.